Hi, we're going to be talking about piece Asturias by Albeniz. This is not the original version that was transcribed or arranged for guitar, but this is a version out of the Guitar Star, the ABRSM book. It has a lot of pieces in here used for the ABRSM prep test. We've got some students taking that. Got a young student aspiring to master this piece, so we're going to go through some of the important elements. So, rhythm is an absolute priority. Each line has an increasing dynamic, so the volume will increase each 4 bars. The thumb has bass notes at the beginning of each measure, open strings, A and E, and the right hand fingers will play this pretty exciting melody. It's going to be I and M alternation, and the strings work out very well. They're totally on, the melody is totally on first and second strings the entire time until the very end. So if you start off, very important that you start with I finger. We're going to talk about why. So we want, when you play a note on string 1 and then string 2, we want to go M on string 1 and I on string 2, not the other way around. The guitar is made for the human hand, so the fingers are in order of the strings. And here I'm doing rest strokes. It works very well for the entire piece. If we were to go the other way around, I on 1 and then M on 2, it requires the hand to shift or to rotate something. It's not comfortable. It's a little bit unwieldy, and ultimately it'll slow you down and lead to mistakes over time. So, very important that we practice the way we're going to perform. I finger first, and the way the melody is arranged, this makes it, when you step down from string 1 to string 2, it's always M on 1 and then I on 2. So that's something to practice very, very slowly and carefully until you get it just right. So the first line and the second line are basically repeating each other with the melody. I am, I am, I. So something to talk about the left hand. Some of these create harmonies we want to sustain, so be careful not to lift up fingers until you need to. It's pretty together. You don't want to lift up finger 1 and kill the F too soon. So beat 2, nice harmony. Beat 3. You also want to hear those together. When you get to the last measure of the phrase, there's not much you can do about it because all the notes are on string 2, no possible harmonies. To line 3, bass note changes to E. Right hand stays the same. A little bit of a change in the melody. Now you have open strings. A little bit easier for the left hand. And the way the fingers are going, you can do rest strokes. 1, 2, and you don't mute any strings that you have the harmony. And you also have this E. You can't call it a major or minor chord. It's just 1 and 5 power. So measure, 9, 10, 11, measure of 11, third measure of the fourth, third measure of the third line. Important we start with M. If you start with the M finger, all the notes line up where you change strings with the right finger. M, I, M steps up to 1, I steps back down to 2, ending. Very exciting piece. It's the last piece out of this Guitar Star book, so I look forward to hearing the student in lessons. Hopefully that's pretty helpful. Maintain the harmonies with the left hand. Use the appropriate fingers with the right hand. Maintain a steady pulse. I didn't demonstrate the dynamic change between the 4 lines, but you want to start off very, very quietly and end loud and powerful. It does have a rallentando at the end, so slow down and let the sound die off. A little demonstration of dynamics. So guitar is already a quiet instrument. The forte is going to be the biggest sound you can produce without being ugly. So that's something you have to test out. That's not a pretty sound, but that's pretty clean. So part of your practice should be experimenting and finding out how much force you can play with the guitar without making an ugly sound. But the piano in the first line should be almost as quiet as you can play. Then it goes to mezzo piano, just a little bit more volume. To a mezzo forte, the third line, a little bit more. Finally to the forte in the last line. Rallentando. A little bit of a die-off for a peaceful ending after a dramatic crescendo. So, very cool piece. I hope you enjoy it. Slow and steady. Be careful with the right hand fingers. Be careful with the left hand fingers to maintain the harmonies. Any questions? Contact me as always. Leave comments in the video sections. Looking forward to hearing you. Thank you. Happy practicing.